What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Boit and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning in the blue color playing as Thor. His name is AC. His opponent today in the red color playing as Poseidon. His name is Brickhead. He has, unfortunately... What is happening here? What is Brickhead doing? He's not built a granary. Maybe he doesn't want to build a granary for a 300 food thing. He could easily have done that. I'm confused. I don't know what's happening here. Brickhead moving across. He's found himself some zebra. He's moving up here. I'm confused. This is the Divine Adventure Tournament. This is the final series of the first round, the round of 32. We've had some incredibly good games thus far, and it's only going to get better, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who do not know, Brickhead, I believe he came third or fourth in the Challengers League in Champions League Challengers League portion. So he's a really, really strong player in his own right. AC on the other side of the map here. I don't recall him signing up for Champions League. I haven't seen him participate in all too many tournaments. So this might be one of his first tournaments. He's an incredibly strong player. Definitely someone to look out for. And I think in terms of all the matchups we've seen in the first round, this is going to be a clanger. This is going to be an absolute clanger of a series. I already feel it in me bones. As we see AC, he's already down the bottom of the map onto those giraffe over there. We do have the ox cart coming out as well. This villager is still long distance gathering from this giraffe, which I'm finding very, very strange. But nonetheless, Brickhead wants to do that. And he is still scouting around, finding cows and everything. Very important to get all this. It's a very, very high hunt map. And the hunt is in a weird position, right? It's off to the side of the map, There is one forward hunt, so to speak, but the majority of it is back, which does definitely favor, if anyone favors the Norse player. But we'll see what Brickhead's going to be able to do with his creek. Now, for those of you who don't know, Brickhead is a Thor expert. He is the first Thor expert, I believe. Though there have been... Or maybe Starsky was the first Thor expert. I don't know if he actually officially got given that title or not. I can't remember. But he is the resident Thor expert, and he basically doesn't play much Thor anymore. But he knows all about it, and he doesn't play Thor because he doesn't like how weak his god is. So he knows how to beat Thor, but he is playing Poseidon, which I do think is a really, really fair, even matchup. I think it's really close for the Poseidon to play this one, as we do see a temple now coming up here for Brickhead. Double villagers on this one, still eating this giraffe. Just let it go. Either throw up a granary or let it go. You don't need both. As we do see the villagers getting pulled off of the food there. So Brickhead wants to advance really, really quickly here. We do see some relics on the map. We've got the Black Lotus, natural 10% villager, farm, gather rate, relic there, as well as the Ankh of Ra with 2.4 free favor a minute. Both of those incredibly good. As the temple finishes up, Freya on the way, Brickhead here, a little bit more food needed, but he should be able to get a pretty clean 430 advance time here if he wants to. There he goes, and he's going through Hermes. So no surprises where that's concerned. As the ox cart is also being shared here, AC managing to cut one ox cart does help him out considerably in the early game. So we'll see how it goes as the giraffe here getting yum-yummed as the cows retreating back home. Hermes just about to come in here. Well, 30 seconds away. Both players about 30 seconds away. So what do you want to do here? Do you go Hippocon Heroes Poseidon? Do you go for infantry here? Do you go for archers here? Those are all the questions to ask yourself when you're playing. Obviously, Poseidon's got the bonus of cavalry, but sometimes not going cavalry is also an option. As this villager finally finishes up on that giraffe before moving back home and moving over there. We do see the longhouses coming up for AC, so no crazy fast heroics or anything. And the question is, for Thor, do you go Ulfsock? Do you go raiding cavalry? Do you go throw an axeman here? All answers that need to be answered, that can be answered by sending that Valkyrie forward and trying to see what gets thrown down. We do see double stables here for Brickhead. So you have two options as the Norse player against Poseidon player spamming Hippocon. one option is to just make Ulfsark, which are actually pretty good, and the other option is to make your own raiding cavalry. As the villager does manage to finish off that Ulfsark before returning back home, the Valkyrie is going to be attempting to find where that one is. All of the Hippocon have been spotted. We do also see an immediate medium cavalry coming through here as the villagers are getting harassed on this position. But underneath the town center here, and the Theseus coming through, no problems there for Brickhead. Just doesn't overreact. Makes it nice there, as we do see a handful of Ulfsark coming out. You can also go for like a handful of Ulfsark, like 3 or 4, and then go into full raiding cavalry. That's also an option if you want to put early pressure onto your opponent. As another thing here that I really like that Brickhead's done, which I don't see enough from Greek players, is he's actually delayed his archer hero. And what does this actually do? Take a look at it. The archer hero takes 17 seconds to train. That's a villager and 3 seconds. It's a big amount of resources you save every villager you delay it. Now, we do see the Valkyrie is going to be causing some problems here. Obviously, having that Hippolyta out to defend against this Valkyrie would have been useful, but you're always going to get forest fired here no matter what. And as long as you don't lose a villager, you should be completely fine. As this low HP villager just going to garrison, no problems there. Center coming in, Hippolyta now out, and that Valkyrie is not going to do all too much. As AC, look at this army of AC. It's very, very strong here. It's terrifying, actually. Brickhead going to have to retreat away from this position here. He does not want to stay on this. He might even want to ceasefire this, in all honesty, just because he's had some difficulties here early game. Going to be losing a couple of villages, if not all of these villages, as the Valkyrie coming back in. Good micro there from Brickhead to target that one down. But the Centaur going to be coming in. We also see some militia coming through here to help out the villagers. What is that villager doing? As you do see the villagers managing to pull away as a longhouse. Bit of a ghost building coming up. Not going to be good enough. Medium infantry also through here to boot as well, as Brickhead pulls back into his base. And the villagers here retreating away. We do see one villager getting taken out. As another villager might go down as well on this position. Brickhead's got a couple of other wood lines over here that he can go for, but he's going to lose another villager here. No, he manages to get into the tower. Good defense thus far. As the army of AC still getting some good damage done, but he's going to have to pull out of here sooner or later. So those Hippocon, they might not seem like it's the best idea making Hippocon versus Ulfsark, and it's not really, but Ulfsark, they don't actually get a bonus versus Hippocon. They're doing the same amount of damage to each other. It's 9 damage versus 10 damage, or 11 damage versus 9.9 damage, depending on the upgrades. What ends up happening, though, is that the defense difference is 30% hack armor. So this 30% hack armor means these Hippocon are doing 30% less damage. So somewhere in the vicinity of 3 damage less, a little bit less than 3 damage less. Whereas the Hippocon, only 10%. So these Ulfsark are doing 9 damage. So on the end of the day, the trades are relatively equal, but the Ulfsark cost less and they are less population. So over the course of the game, it ends up being a little bit suboptimal to stick with Hippocon. If you get out some archers, though, that can be a good way to play. As AC still trying to figure his way out into his enemy base. He's actually not got houses building as he does pull the Ulfsark back. I always think that Norse is the best idea for Norse whenever you're playing is that Skrailing you've got or a random other Ulfsark or a random other infantry unit just sits at your base and just builds houses. They're dedicated to population house builder. I think it's really important. As Brickhead coming through over here, you can get some damage done. If you can. Villager's going to get pushed back here as well. Just a little bit of damage, but not so bad. He is completely fine as he's slowly starting to get up to full population. Medium cavalry coming through here as well for AC. And that's going to be a bit of a problem. Ceasefire is still available for Brickhead if he wants to use it as the villager's pulling back. And Brickhead is just pushing in and out, which is not necessarily the best of ideas because he's slowly going to get chipped away at for his HP. So when the fight actually does end up happening, these Thor units are going to be much more healthy than Brickheads. I mean, he might be able to sneak a gold mine over here or something. He does have these giraffe in the corner as well that he can go for. There's one villager going down. Villager differential starting to heavily favor AC. Up 3 villagers is a big deal at this point in the game. Especially when it's like Greek versus Norse as well. Because the Norse have got dwarves they need to build. So their numbers should be... they're worth a little bit more than their numbers indicate. As Brickhead does decide to take this fight, can he find the win? He's trying to micro it as best as he can. That Hippolyta is getting some good damage done from afar, but AC's numbers, they're just so high here in this game. He's in a fantastic position. No watchtowers coming through here either for Brickhead to actually take these fights. As more units coming in for Brickhead to try and hold on, but it looks like Brickhead here, after all is said and done, is not able to hold on in this fight. AC is still close to full population. Brickhead dropping down to 50 population here. His gold mine is just about to be getting pushed off of and expire as well. And in that moment, AC does take the dub here. Poseidon, you've got to be thinking, what is my opponent building at all times? I never think you should commit fully onto Hippocon until you see your opponent's army. Because yes, committing fully to Hippocon against, say, full raiders, it's not an awful trade. It's pretty good. Your Hippocon can chase the raiders around and you can fight those and you can kind of win from time to time, depending on micro and depending on upgrades and depending on all of the things that happen in the game. But if your opponent makes these Ulfsark, if Brickhead had gone 2 stables, his 3rd military building could have been archers. He gets some out, but way too late. If his 3rd military building was archers here, it would have had more population. He would have had more ability to defend here. And especially would have been able to sit here and instead of doing this back and forth dance, the Toxotes would have been really, really helping there. But he didn't get them out, and AC gets a fairly easy first win here. Well played to AC. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.